Hey, it's Friday. This is a special edition of Deploy on Friday. It's time to deploy, but for the entire year. Matt and Charlotte are joining me. We have reached the end of 2025. How would you guys summarize in a sentence the year that was? You both joined Octopus, and it's been a whirlwind of awesomeness ever since, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I can summarize it in a sentence. It has been a wonderful year, especially for me. I've gone from the services side into product. So that's been really cool as well to have that transition. So yeah, I've learned a lot this year. 2026 is shaping up to be fantastic as well. We're just starting to talk about our planning and going through that as the team. So yeah, very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am the same. I started in July and it's been great. I've loved being here for 6 months and yeah, I mean, just contributing to some really cool reports and, to see what next year will bring is really exciting.
It's great to have you both on the team. And I thought we would use this opportunity to kind of provide a year that was, so to speak. We'll cover a lot of what we did here on this show, but we'll cover also some of the things that maybe you didn't see throughout the year as part of all the stuff that we shipped throughout 2025. So let's go ahead and get started. We've got tons of links. So this is going to be a bit of a longer show, folks, but that's okay. Like if you weren't aware of everything that was happening at Octopus, this is a great show for you to get all cut up to speed. So in February, we shipped Argo Unpacked, or rather, we announced Argo Unpacked, which was basically our foray into talking about Argo. So this is done by Dan and Revital, and they started this show basically to engage with the Octopus community, to talk to them about various topics. They've done, I believe, 18 episodes now, and they launched back in February, which was awesome to see. And it's been going strong. You can like and subscribe. Obviously, you can grab their newsletter. They're up to episode 19. They have over 2,000 subscribers now. So in less than, say, let's see, they're 10, 11 months, they have 2,000 plus subscribers, which is fantastic. And they've got all their episodes there, which is great to see. And Dan and Revital know everything about this. So there you go.
Yeah, I've learned so much from that show. There's so much knowledge that's being brought in by both the Octopus team and the folks that they're getting on. So, being relatively new to GitOps, I dabbled in it over the last few years with a few different customers, but yeah, their knowledge is super deep and they're able to go into the what, why, and the how of GitOps, which is really cool. So
yeah, it is. It is. Same time that month in February, earlier this year, we launched Meet the Octonaut, and we had a number of folks that participated as part of this. So I think Irina and Harsh and a few others were part of the initial launch, but this is basically a page that's part of our company page that kind of highlights some of the people that work at Octopus Deploy. There's Angus, there's Hope, there's Steve, there's me with Pumpkin. I decided I would just, have me in there with Pumpkin.
look at that terrible day in the background up there.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
just
beautiful one day, perfect the next. So I live in the Gold Coast, which, if you can see here, this is Surfers Paradise, etc. And this is it's about 15 minutes from my house, so not a bad place. Not too bad. Humble brag, sort of thing. So, but Meet the Octonaut was a lot of fun to see people get their profiles posted there. And we got lots of great photos of people and stories, so you can check that out as well. Around March, we shipped 2025.1. So this introduced a lot of really cool features, including config as code for runbooks, which was a massive feature. This was something that I was asked for by customers for like ever. And we did a webinar, and it was one of our most popular webinars we've done in quite a while. But essentially, config as code is obviously being able to represent your runbooks as text and then be able to utilize Git to obviously update them, etc. So that was a major feature introduced in 2025.1. Obviously, being able to deactivate tenants, very important feature as well. So we added that capability. And this one was massive for me, just in general. Like on the surface, it doesn't read like a lot, but OIDC support. For just Google Cloud Platform and others, and other ways in which you can integrate with this was massive. Basically, being able to have server-to-server auth is a huge deal for me.
It's essentially becoming, or really has become, like the standard for two solutions talking to each other, right? Instead of trying to store those service principal keys or API keys or whatever it might be. OIDC is just a great way for two systems to be able to to communicate with each other and for you to be
Yep.
able to scope it down really well. So
Yeah. Agreed. We added some other capabilities as well, but 2025.1 definitely was a cool release. And of course, we did a release party as part of that. So we have these available through our webinars page. I'll just briefly touch on this. We did a ton of webinars throughout the year, and I believe our release party was down yonder somewhere. And we did 101s and all kinds of things around this. So lots of fun for that. And we highlighted all the new features, etc. So that was awesome to see. And yeah, 2025.1, big release. Later on in April, we went to KubeCon in Europe. I know this predates you guys when you started, but like it was a lot of fun. Like we had a lot of fun in Europe, in London rather, and we had a lot of sessions and all that. So trust me when I tell you to, it was a lot of fun. So we had Bob doing sessions and demos there. We had a exclusive event. We rented out the Fox for a night of just drinks and food, etc. Dan did his Jeopardy quiz on Kubernetes, which was always a good time. It's something that I think we're thinking about doing ourselves in a virtual format. And we did a bunch of talks as well. So there was talks by various folks, both a part of Octopus and the Argo project. And yeah, good time had by all. So there you go. And of course, KubeCon remains a theme throughout the year, obviously, for good reason too. Matt, you joined in April as well, and I was, alluding to this at the start. How's the last 6, 7, 8, 9 months been for you?
Yeah, I was talking to someone just the other day about when I started, and I said to them, I think the new badge is worn off now. Like I can't lean on the I'm new here. I don't really know about that anymore. But
Yes.
yeah, because I in my head I'm like, I'm still a couple of months in, but yeah, it has been I guess 7, 8, 9 months now, which is really cool. So
yeah, like a new car, you still have that new car smell. No longer, you're now worn in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just worn out on the feet on the outside. Yeah,
the warranty's expired. Yeah,
yeah, that's right. But it's been like even just seeing the features and functionality that have come out this year since I've joined in the product has been amazing, and we'll walk through a bunch of that here as we continue forward. But I mean, one of the big reasons I joined Octopus was knowing a few of the folks who have been here before and the culture of the company, and it has just been a fantastic company to join and come and spend. We spend a lot of our time at work, doing work, thinking about our work. So it's been a really fun year for me to be able to enjoy coming to work and try different things. And it's also been a bit of a career shift for me coming out of being like technical delivery full time all the time into now, some content and exploring different avenues and working with Charlotte and Steve on some of the research and being able to unpack that. So yeah, it's been really fun.
Awesome. As part of our various things that we did throughout April, one of the major announcements we made was support for Kubernetes live object status. So this is essentially the ability of reflecting the live state of the various things that you have integrated as part of Octopus, whether it's your pods, whether it's your replica sets, whether it's your services, etc. And we held a webinar as part of this as well. But this was a massive update for us as part of Octopus 2025.1. And we obviously leverage that for our own purposes as well. That's part of the reason why we build a lot of these features, because we want to use these things ourselves. So we use Kubernetes. We ship Octopus with Octopus. We use Kubernetes for Octopus Cloud. And we leverage this capability a lot. So we thought, why not build this in? We'll use it ourselves. And then customers can benefit from that as well, which was great. Fast forward to other things that we did in June. In 2025.2 shipped in June, and there was lots of awesomeness in that. We had, most notably, the ability to do things like diffing of manifests, which is obviously important. We had an update for our Terraform provider. So we shipped V1 of our Terraform provider, which is like, yes, I worked on that thing for years. And when I saw that we were going to ship the 1.0 release, I was like, thank goodness. So we did a webinar about this. Yes, I know you can laugh, Matt. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I've seen the work, and the reason I laugh is a 1.0 is always interesting as to like when's the line where we're going to do this. Like before the 1.0, it was obviously functional and things were working, but as per what's in the post, there were some reasons for this now being 1.0.
I know this just before you joined, Charlotte, but to describe my life working on this thing, you know that animated GIF of the construction worker going on the rock pile? That was me, like forever and ever. I worked on that thing for a long time. So having 1.0 was a massive deal for me. So I know that a lot of these features, like for some people, like I've never used a Terraform provider. I'm like, fair enough, but these things were massive. So in addition to that, in 2025.2, we also added support for scoping tenant variables, common tenant variables, most notably to environments. That allows you to do, obviously, more simplified deployments. We then always adding more and more capabilities. So we added some additions and improvements to our enterprise tier offerings. So we had global deployment freezes, priority deployments, ITSM for runbooks, which is fantastic. And this is something that a lot of people obviously mention is deployment freezes at the project level. So these and other sorts of capabilities turns out to be really, really important. Of course, more goodness around OIDC.
Don't forget to turn your deployment freezers on coming up to Christmas over the next few weeks.
Christmas holidays.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, I saw some comms from our engineering team about just some of the dates for them to be mindful of with merging code in over the next few weeks. And thankfully, we use Octopus to deploy Octopus, so we can put those freezers in place and make sure that nothing unexpected is going out while a lot of people are on leave at this time of year, right? So
Yeah. So if you want to read more about this, we have this documented, but basically with project or deployment freezes, rather, you can set up a time window where you don't want anything going out. That's just through the automation. Obviously, you can override that if you have an emergency deployment, things like that. You can certainly do something like that, but it allows you to just have some control over that. Later on in that month, we had our announcement with Datadog where we announced an integration. This is awesome because we leveraged this at an event that we did called Dash, which is Datadog's event, their conference. And we talked in great detail about this. So there's some really good things about this. And we did some videos and we talked about this on the blog. And, Datadog, for those who don't know, is basically a observability tool. And so what this does is, as it says here, it collects a ton of metrics around your deployments, if a deployment fails, etc., why. And so we can surface that out, and we have a video that showcases that. So that was something that was really cool to see. And I always envisioned we would do something with Datadog way back when I first joined Octopus. I thought they seemed like an appropriate fit for us. I know, Charlotte, we haven't left you out. Don't worry. We're getting into the report stuff. So we shipped the State of GitOps report back in June. I know that you joined in July, but tell us a little bit about the reporting stuff that you've been working on, like just as an overall perspective, all the publications you've been a part of, all the reporting that we've done, just awesome to see.
Yeah, so this one is really good, and I didn't like contribute to this one because it came out before I started, but it's such a great report, and it's got so much relevance for the people who use GitOps, and it's like the findings are really specific and very beneficial. Steve just did a really good job on this one. But in terms of the other reports I've been working on and starting in July, it's been really great. So I think I kind of started, and like Matt, it was total career shift for me as well. I came from academia, so I was a science lecturer. So quite a shift, different type of research, but still research. It was a big career change, but I really loved it, and I've loved learning about this industry. And writing the reports has allowed me to do that. And so when I started, how the high performing teams adopt their platform and implement it.
Yep.
If it's mandatory or optional, and the success rates for that and things, and then the reasons why platforms being adopted in organizations are not what we thought. A lot to do with operational systems, which makes sense in that respect. But yes, really cool stuff in this report. And then since then, just straight onto the AI report. Bit of planning, but mainly the AI report. So I've actually been finishing it off this morning. So
oh wow,
for us, it'll go out very early next year, which will be exciting. But I've really loved
Cool.
working on this report. It's been really, really interesting, and kind of just it investigates AI impact and its integration into our industry, so software industry, and what type of impact it's having and how people are using it and adopting it. But it's been really interesting. Yeah,
Fantastic.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Speaking of AI, we shipped the AI assistant back in shortly after you joined there, Charlotte. This was a big deal for us. This shipped as a Chrome extension, and what it basically did was it allowed you to integrate with a bunch of tooling that we had built under the covers, namely tools like Octolint. It also had some prescriptive guidance, and there was like a lot of features to this that were mentioned in our roadmap, like prompt-based project creation, etc., best practices, things like that. And it was really our first foray, if you will, into the world of AI. We had kind of watched on the sidelines a little bit about how people were using AI, and we were kind of dipping our toe in the water, so to speak. And we were a bit, I think, hesitant and also cautious, but also optimistic to a certain degree because, we didn't want to radically change the product. So the best way to do that, obviously, is to not change it at all and just have a Chrome extension that you could download and install. And then speaking of also July, you did a lot of stuff around this, Matt, eh? The Exploring Octopus Deploy series launched.
Yeah, that's right. I selfishly wanted a way for me to get a bit deeper into the product and the capabilities. And so I thought, why, it's always that thing around trying to teach someone else something. You, of course, need to understand it yourself first. So I thought, well, let me just go and pick a bunch of things about the product and what Octopus can do, and I'll try and reshare that with other people. The challenge that I had for myself was to try and share that with folks in 5 minutes or less. Sometimes I've succeeded, sometimes I've not succeeded because I get a bit carried away. And but most of them are around the 5-minute mark. So the idea is to try and just get people across the pain point, and then things that are in our industry that make continuous delivery good, and then how we at Octopus try and approach that through the product. So I'm trying to talk through what's the thing that you should care about from a continuous delivery or a software delivery standpoint, and then just reinforce that with here's how we've approached that in Octopus. So this has been a fun series to do. Pretty much every week. I may have missed 1 or 2 weeks as I've gotten busy and were overseas or other things, but I think I've managed to stick pretty much to the 1 per week cadence, and there's still so much more to go as well. I'm having trouble keeping up with our engineering folks with the cadence that they're releasing new stuff compared to the backlog of existing years of functionality that I've got that I want to get out there. So I
liken you to the Bob Ross of Octopus Deploy. You're just painting your canvas there, and like, oh, we don't break deployments, we just do happy accidents. And,
that's right.
Yeah. So you've got a ton of videos in this series, obviously, and 20 videos, not a bad contribution for the short time you've been here. Very, very respectable, mate. Very respectable.
Yeah, thanks. So I appreciate it.
We also launched, obviously, the Trust Center. This is at trust.octopus.com. Not a lot of people know about this. We shipped this back in July. And the reason why I like this so much is because oftentimes people ask questions like, hey, do you have SOC 2, SOC 3 compliance, GDPR? What do you do around that, et cetera, et cetera? What is all the stuff that you've done around audits and, all the enterprisey stuff that I just get, quite frankly, I can't explain well enough. And I usually refer to other folks at Octopus to do that. But this is a site you can go to see all of this. And it's, it's awesome to see the transparency here. So this is the Trust Center. If you're at all curious, if you're talking to a stakeholder who's, paying the bills, paying the invoice for Octopus, etc., and they have questions around compliance, they can go here at trust.octopus.com. That launched in July. And of course, with you guys on board, our acceleration around projects obviously increased, and we had a lot of stuff. We had Platform Hub obviously ship in August. This was a massive release for us. So Matt, what was this all about?
Yeah, so Platform Hub is the space in Octopus Deploy that we're creating specifically for platform engineers and platform teams to be able to create the things that they need to for the rest of their organization. So when Platform Hub launched back earlier in this year, the first thing that or the first capability within Platform Hub was around process templates. So the idea that you can take a deployment process or parts of a deployment process and make that a template as a platform team or a producer, people who are creating these templates, and then share that out with the rest of your organization. And then your application teams don't really need to sit there and worry about what are the individual steps that I need in my process to deploy this, container to our target Kubernetes cluster and have all of the different things that I need in that. They can just go to the template and say, yep, that's the one I need, and consume it in my project, and then it's there. They can then fill in some parameters or some values that are required, like, what container are you deploying and whatever the other parameters and values are, and they're off to the races. So that's where we started with Platform Hub, was around process templates, and we've since also now released policies in there as well, which are around the, I guess, enforcing or controlling the governance at scale around how your teams are doing deployments, and that's a fantastic capability, because process templates might require your teams to go and create those templates, and then you need to start adopting them. So there'll be a bit of time to ramp up to start using them. But with policies being, I guess, a brand new feature and capability within the product, there are some things that we're seeing teams start to use, from day one, because they're able to start to roll out these policies. And the policies can be rolled out in a warn fashion as well. So the action is a warn. It's not stopping deployments. It's not getting in anyone's way, but you can start to roll them out that way. And then when teams have updated their templates to abide by the policies that you're putting in place, then you can start to think about, okay, we're going to make these block the deployment now, because that's where we're at with our rollout. So there's so much more to come in Platform Hub as well. There's a lot of roadmap items. We're getting great feedback from customers who are starting to adopt it. Internally, the teams are using it. We're using it ourselves in various projects and tools that we're shipping at Octopus as well. So it's a real problem space in the industry. And like I remember wrangling with different tooling and templating systems of trying to create these pathways, for lack of a better term, for teams to start to use. But there was just a lot of friction in the way that some of the other products and tooling out there did it. And that would often then result in, I can sort of handle this myself with it. And then you end up with a bunch of scripts and, this repo calling, GitHub actions from that repo that then pull in variables from over here. And it just becomes a bit of a mess, to be honest. But one of the things that I love just about, like, I always bang on about this, but the capability within process templates specifically, and policies as well, is that we've built in versioning. So it's all backed by Git and versioned that way that developers are familiar with, and that's cool. But the other way, the other capability is that when you create a new process template or policy, you share that out and you publish it within your organization, within your Octopus instance. And that itself is versioned as well. So when someone decides to use a process template in their own project, it's got this inherent link back with the template. So if that parent template gets updated in the future to introduce new capability, or maybe some of the parameters are changing, or maybe we're changing we're changing our logging tool from, X to Y, and the platform team can go and make that change in their template and then push that out and let the consumers of the template know, hey, there's an update that's available. Here's what the changes are. And it's really easy to see that and go and update your own version as a consumer of that template. And that's one of the functionalities that I think differentiates us in the market. I haven't seen that level of capability in the way that we've done it in the user interface. So I think that's really powerful.
You sounded like you were giving a TED talk there for a second.
Yeah. Down off my soapbox now. Yeah.
No, it's good. It's actually good. I can only just nod the whole time. Like, yep, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also at that time launched the new web series, video series called Life at Octopus, where we featured a bunch of folks from the company, including Paul, Harsh, Joanna, Rob, etc., Irina, Shane. These are the folks who help build and ship Octopus. They work on it day to day. They're working with customers, talking to partners, etc. And so these are the folks who are obviously, are inside the company. We launched this to to not only share some of the stories that they have, but also to obviously highlight some of the folks within the company. And the people team uses this when they talk to candidates. We are hiring, by the way. We'll talk about that in a second. But we use this for candidates if they want to get a better sense of what some of their potential future teammates may look like. So there you go. That's the new Life at Octopus series. And speaking of careers, sorry, I don't know if that was intentional or not. It was a very good segue. We have our new careers page that we launched back in July, and we did a video series here, and lots of great photos. Actually, I've taken some of these photos, and these were from our events and from various sort of highlights throughout the year. And obviously, we included things like our life at Octopus and our people, our Octonauts, etc. So lots and lots of stuff to see there. That's all at /company/careers, which is awesome. It's too bad we didn't have this when you guys were thinking about joining. It would have been probably more convincing for you to join, right?
I think it's really cool to see people that are doing certain roles at companies, and I think that a bunch of other organizations are doing it too, but it's really useful when you are looking for a role. Like you said, you can just see who's possibly in your team and who you'll be working closely with and what they actually do day to day. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I love it. Love it a lot. In September, we shipped 2025.3, which included some awesome capabilities. So most notably, obviously, we had some improvements for obviously doing Kubernetes. So that's the integration with Kubernetes Live Objects as part of server was really part of it. We initially shipped this as part of cloud. That's typically our cadence for shipping stuff. We ship it off to our alpha customers and our insiders through Octopus Cloud, and then we push it downstream through server integration, which is the on-premise installations. But as part of that, we also introduced ephemeral environments. So ephemeral environments is obviously this capability of being able to stand up through runbooks these temporary locations for you to run smoke tests and all sorts of tests as part of your deployments. And we call those ephemeral environments, and they're called that because they are ephemeral. They're very short-lived. And the implementation is based on the environments we already have built into Octopus. This is something we introduced, and a lot of folks obviously love that. We added some more control over package retention policies. We added, obviously, a better editor experience for the process of your deployment processes. Any highlights here that you guys like the most at all?
For me, ephemeral environments is a standout. If you've watched Deploy on Friday before, you've heard me bang on about it, but I think it's just such a cool capability to get a live environment up really quickly without that pain that you have of those static dev test, UAT, staging environments, whatever they are. Like, they're still important to have for different reasons, but it's that earlier stage feedback where you don't need to schedule time on one of those static environments to really quickly get your change out in a real world environment. You can run your tests there. The person reviewing the pull request can see it. They can touch it. They can go and see it in their browser or inspect a feature or whatever it is in a real environment and say, this is acting as we expect. And it's just, it's a great capability, and the way it's been built into the product makes it really easy to integrate in your existing projects as well.
Yep. By the way, as we're going through all this, it's like there's all kinds of other stuff that we did. We were traveling, we were going to events, etc. We don't have so many time. We only have so many links to share, folks. And you launched another web series there called Inside Platform Engineering. There, Matt, tell us about this.
Yeah, so this is a currently monthly series. So there'll be one a month, and the next one will come out in January in the new year. The idea was that there's a lot of great content out there around platform engineering, but me being a technologist, I sort of wanted to get under the hood a little bit and talk to folks who are out there, whether they're at a customer site working deep on platforms or in a consulting role and seeing lots of different things. But I just wanted to start picking people's brains on 2 or 3 areas that they're passionate about within platform engineering and try and get some pragmatic insights for other folks to come and have a listen about and then get some key takeaways from. And so I've had conversations with Luke Phillips, Steve Wade, and Matt Gowie so far. There's obviously more to come in 2026, but each one of these has surprised me in just the different directions that we go, some of the similarities we have in thinking, and then some of the questions that I naturally come up with as we're talking along, because these are super interesting folks, and I'm able just to unpick their brains and get all that goodness out into the community. So that's the idea behind it. Yeah.
Nice. Charlotte, I know the next link isn't your report, but it is a report, and that's the Gartner Magic Quadrant. Sorry, I needed a segue to bring you in. So we were part of the Magic Quadrant from Gartner for the DevOps Platform report, and this was a pretty big deal. This was the first time we had actually been as part of this. We were named as a niche player. And this was available here through the report. You can check it out if you want. But this was a massive sort of win for us, because I think it speaks to the amount of work we've done in this space around deployments, around continuous integration, around DevOps, around platform engineering, and other things as well. So that was awesome to see. Another thing that happened around that same time or shortly thereafter was obviously went to GitHub Universe. So this was in October, and we were, of course, there. We had a booth, and all fun was had there. We announced a whole bunch of things, including, if I can quickly jump to it, we included our MCP server and our integration with GitHub Copilot, our AI assistant. All this stuff was part of this sort of discussion with folks at GitHub Universe, and we talked about this. And this was our news announcement around the MCP server that we announced. Matt wrote a blog post about this as well. For those who don't know, MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It's basically it's a way in which you communicate to supply resources, tools, things like that out of your endpoints to communicate with AI agents and be able to do some clever things. Sorry, this was written by Bestie. I apologize, Bestie. I thought Casperson would have written this, but there you go. Bestie is heavily involved as well. The two of them are like, the dynamic duo there in terms of AI work on the R&D side. There are others as well. But yeah, this was the blog post that talked about this and showing off, obviously, integration with Claude. Here, this is an example of this, of how we can do these. The code for this is available up on GitHub, and we talked about this on Deploy on Friday, obviously, as well. But it allows you to do some really interesting things. And I think that, we're just starting out on this journey and figure out more as we go, which is awesome to see, and I can't wait to see where we end up in the weeks and months to come. Later on in October, of course, we also shipped, or Costas actually shipped, the Argo CD best practices. Costas, not a stranger to writing. You read his articles, and the scroll bar goes from this down to like this, because he just writes so much. But he basically wrote a series of blog posts, and we kind of compiled that all up into a PDF. Maybe Charlotte, we should add some Costas uses these UML diagrams. I'm like, Charlotte is like, she could do a diagram or report or two for this. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking on my feet here, but, yeah. Like this thing is a monster sort of report. So if you're looking at sort of like the tried and true best practices, that, only folks who deal with this stuff all the time, like Costas and Dan and Ravital and others, this would be something to definitely check out, which is awesome. So that's October. November, things started to get really crazy now. So we announced our free tier. This was awesome. Matt, did you have anything to say about this?
Yeah, sorry. My comment was on November being crazy, but
yes.
the free tier, the free tier specifically is really good. And I know there's been, over the years, there have been different things at Octopus around free versions or trials or community editions, but this is really great. And the free tier is available for both Octopus Cloud and Octopus Server. So whether you want to just get it spun up on our infrastructure, get going in like literally a couple of minutes and you've got your instance ready to go, or if you want to host it yourself for whatever reason, go down that route, you've got the option either way. And what I love is that all of the allowances in here of the free version, which is not a trial, it is literally like you get it and it's just free for forever. The allowances, as we can see here, like 10 projects, 10 tenants, 10 users, there's enough here to absolutely get going. Or even if you're, I guess a small company with a couple of projects, you can get Octopus on the free tier, start using it out, start seeing how it's going to enhance your software delivery. And there's plenty of there's plenty of room in the free tier. I think some free
Yes.
tier products you can get, and they're almost too limiting. Like, yes, they let you start with the product, but then they obviously want to try and get you on a paid version pretty quickly. But the other thing that I love as well is the call out that we've done before around SSO. Like,
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic to see that. It's all too often that you see that tied to enterprise only versions, but we've the team here have got it in all versions, including the free version as well. So yeah.
So there's a site called SSO Tax. This is the SSO Wall of Shame, and this is basically companies that price for using SSO. We didn't do that. We're like, we're going to throw it into the free tier, which is awesome in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that was great to see. Yeah, it was definitely something that I think a lot of folks were very happy to see. Around that same time, around in November, obviously things keep going. We had the research panel declared. So this is at /research@Octopus. We opened this up, actually. We started talking about this at Shipped, which we'll talk about. But this was something that basically like, hey, we're looking to chat with you. If you're interested in talking to us about the future of Octopus or continuous delivery or other things, you can submit to join the research panel. And so this is something that we introduced around that time, which was awesome to see. We also had a bunch of new ads that came out. We had ads, Steve-based deployments, deployments equals boring, things like that. We've highlighted those, obviously, throughout all Deploy on Friday, but that was something that we obviously did, and I had a lot of fun actually being part of those ads. Yeah, so that's, I think, going to be part of the legacy at Octopus, these fun ads around deployments. So, yeah, I'll put some B-roll footage in here about them. We won't have to watch them again. But if you want, you can go check them out on our channel.
Do you know what? Just on the ads real quick. So for folks who don't know, there was one person in those ads who was not an Octopus employee. And I've seen these ads being put in front of people, and the other person watching it has been asked to spot the person who wasn't the Octopus employee, and they almost don't get it every time. So that goes to say that everyone who was from Octopus in those has done a fantastic job of bringing those to life, including yourself, John. So well done to you and to the team for the execution on that.
Yeah, no monitors were harmed, as I like to say, in making of those videos.
I don't know. You had one gripped pretty hard there at one point.
I did. So, they just said act like something failed. I'm like, I would never do this. I would never grab my monitor. I might pound on the desk. I might put my fist through, but I know better as a technical person. I know better not to destroy my own equipment. That's just silly.
Yeah,
so, but that's what they wanted. So I give them what they want. Method acting, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Just as a highlight, this is exactly what we did across all the events. This is us at AWS reInvent, which I think was like, this is like the biggest event ever from what people were telling me. There was like 60,000 people. And just awesome to see. James Chapman's there. This is the guy talking here. He was doing a presentation on fast and compliant CI/CD pipelines in the financial industry. This is up on YouTube. You can check it out. So this is like makes it look like a small conference. It was not a small conference. It was a massive, massive conference. It makes KubeCon look like a tea party. Anyways. So this is just a reflection of the same things that we did at KubeCon, at DDD Perth, at various events like KubeCon I mentioned earlier, obviously GitHub Universe, all that sort of stuff. So we had a good time doing that.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of stuff throughout the year, sort of locally here in ANZ as well, right? Like we talk about the conferences a lot, which are the North American ones. But like John, you were at DDD Brisbane recently as well, right? So we have folks who do the DDD series that's ran throughout here in Australia. Yao was recently up that way, and we had some folks along there as well. So yeah.
If there's an event, there's a developer event that we like, we typically go. So you'll see us at a lot of those events around the world. And we like Jenny here. She's awesome. She's our rockstar event coordinator, etc. I could go on for hours talking about how awesome she is. She does all the stuff around events, makes us look great. Just shout out to her. She did a fantastic job for the many, many months and years that she's been here, which has been great.
I tried to get her in a video at KubeCon to tell us
Oh,
about
yeah?
the awesomeness that she does, but she would not have a bar of it, which you'll see at the end of my video
Yes,
about
I
KubeCon.
saw that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I'll get you next year, Jenny. I'll get you next year.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, threats. There we go. Threats of getting on video, highlighting. Great. We did this course, Octopus Fundamentals. You'll find it up on learning.octopus.com. This is basically a way of getting a certification around Octopus. We cover all the basic primitives. This highlights Matt's Exploring Octopus series. We're looking to integrate some labs as well. I'm investigating this right now, right after this recording. I'll probably jump back into our labs infrastructure and continue to look at this. But basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to provide you a means of learning what Octopus is, how it works, kind of like the Octopus way. What is a project? What is a deployment process? What is a run book? What is a release? What is a deployment? What are these things? What are step templates? These and other sort of concepts we cover throughout this course, and this is available for you to take advantage of. It's up on learning.octopus.com, and we shipped this, obviously, earlier, just recently, actually, last month, and we talked about it a lot at Shipped, which is great to see. In December, we shipped, or this month rather, we shipped 2025.4. We had lots of really cool features. Matt, you covered all the stuff around Platform Hub, so we don't need to obviously go on and on about it, but lots of innovations there. Obviously, we integrated Argo CD as part of Octopus. This was a massive announcement for us, the integration of Argo CD in Octopus, the ability to obviously utilize Argo CD as part of your deployments, which is huge, and it's really kind of indicative of the sort of high-fiving between the two invertebrates, let's say. So yeah, that was awesome to see, and we had lots of customers who wanted this, and of course on folks coming from over on the CodeFresh side, this was something that they definitely wanted to see. So all the goodness that you would expect in this solution is there, in addition to other things as well. We talked more about ephemeral environments, obviously, as part of this release, because we made it more concrete. And then we did other capabilities around the Kubernetes agent as well. So there's a webinar that Kit talks about this as well, along with Liam, some of the capabilities we added. And most notably, we integrated role-based access controls, or RBAC, as part of this. So you don't have to do additional steps to get that integration there. But lots and lots of stuff went into 2025.4, which was awesome to see. In addition to other things that we shipped as part of Octopus Cloud, you'll find all of these on the What's New page. So if you go to octopus.com/what's new, you'll see the page there. It highlights all of those things. And speaking of highlights, of course, we had all the highlights in Shipped. So Shipped 25 was earlier this month. This featured 24 different speakers from both from Octopus Deploy as well as from our customers and partners. We had lots of great sessions there. The playlist is available up on YouTube, which we've highlighted here. We've got lots of great content. Some of the highlights for me were things like the release party. So this was fun. We had a bunch of the PMs on the recording there. We talked about what was new in 2025.4. I was able to wrangle Paul and Colin to talk about, what we've shipped and what's next. So you can see this is the keynote from Paul. And then obviously Colin did his session on what's shipped and what's next, providing a vision there. We did a bunch of sessions from folks, including we had a session here from Bestie and Michael Richardson talking about feature toggles. They actually shipped this as part of their video, which was really cool. We had, obviously, you, Matt, and you, Charlotte, join Steve to talk about the research panel. What was this all about, Charlotte? What did you guys talk about in this thing?
So this one was based on kind of the research that we had done this year. So we talked about the state of GitOps, which is what, Steve, wrote the report on earlier this year. And then we also talked about the Platform Engineering Pulse report. And then we talked about the compliance through continuous delivery report. We kind of went through a few of the key findings, which were really interesting in the research.
Yep.
So funny watching myself nod.
It's very meta. Sorry.
Doing that now. But yeah, so we kind of just went through the key findings, which were really interesting. And so, yeah, kind of just an overview of our really cool research this year. It was great.
Awesome. So yeah, all of these and more we had as part of Shipped, which are available up on the playlist. Some of the ones that I liked, the ones that are kind of popular. This one was really cool. This was featuring folks from Testry and Atlassian talking about ephemeral environments. They were using this sort of capability before we actually shipped ephemeral environments. And what was really cool about this video is they actually went through the results. They talked about how they did their ephemeral environments within Atlassian. They utilized Octopus Deploy for this as well, which was really cool. There are some other ones as well. We've highlighted this all in the previous episodes of Deploy on Friday. Anyways, you can check out the playlist, which is available there now, which is fantastic. And that was our third iteration of Shipped. We'll probably do another one next year. I say probably. We will do another one. This time I probably will try and spread the load, if you will, across more than just myself. Matt, Charlotte, I might get you guys to help me out.
You say probably again, but you
probably
will. So,
yes,
yeah.
I will. Yes, sorry. Voluntold. All right. I mentioned this earlier. This is just a link for Argo CD and Octopus. This is something that was a major highlight. So if you want to check it out there, this is the blog post from Robert who talks about this, which is great. We also had our Wrapped. This is incredibly popular. This is by Jenny. This is kind of an homage to, obviously, Spotify. So this year, your deployments hit all the right notes, and you deployed 46,228,774 times and counting. The deploying personality, the Automator. If you haven't manually deployed since 2021, go you. This actually cracked me up. I liked Gitney Spears. Oops, I did it on Friday. Any favorites here, Charlotte? Bohemian Rollback. Queen Control.
Bruce
Born to
Springsteen.
Run book.
They're good. They're really good.
Yes, this builds on fire. Don't go chasing deployments. TLCI CD. Very good.
That's awesome.
Very, very good. Your own deployment anthem. Argo Your Own Way. Fleetwood Mac Ops. Top 0.001% of Argo project users. Most trending features, environment progression, tenants, config as code, Kubernetes agent, platform hub. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. Most used excuses, works on my machine. The pipeline must be cached, and I thought we fixed that. So you're in good company. If you're using Octopus, you're in good company. 50 plus of the Fortune 500 use Octopus. 450 million or more deployments to date, and obviously 352,000 are using Octopus. So thanks for the ride. I love these Wrapped. They're great. Great. Jenny does a great job of those.
Yeah, fantastic work.
Latest news, just for this week, we were actually featured as the top company contributing to the Argo CD project for the last 3 months. So we had 854 contributions, and you can find these up on the LFX Insights board for Argo CD, which is fantastic. And just to wrap things up, obviously, we had video here from Marcel. This is a new video that he did on the introduction to Octopus deployment. Matt, what's this all about?
Yeah, so Marcel does fantastic content, known on YouTube and around the traps as that DevOps guy. You have most likely come across some of his content before in one form or another. He covers a range of different stuff, but yeah, in this video, he was able to unpack and the sort of where Octopus Deploy fits into the landscape of, you know, the plethora of tooling that we have within our industry these days, and sort of talks about why CI and CD are two different things, although the term is also used together quite often. And then Marcel takes us through basically from zero, so getting started, you know, fresh Octopus instance, and goes through to a Kubernetes deployment using Octopus and showcasing some of the features like script modules for some of the repeatability and reusability, and getting that deployment out to his target cluster of his application. And if you watch his video, in the description of the video, he links out to a repository, might be a GIST on GitHub. It's either a repository or a GIST, one way or another, of all of the things, all of the steps that he takes. So you can literally follow along with the video. Now that we've got the free tier, you can go and grab the free tier of Octopus yourself, and you can follow along with everything that he's done here on the screens as he takes you through. So you can watch his video to understand why you're doing the thing, and then get hands-on with it yourself and follow along as well. So everything that he shows in the video is available on that free tier. So yeah, great. A big thanks to Marcel for putting that together.
Awesome stuff. Just to wrap things up, obviously we have our webinars. You can find it up on YouTube. We've hosted a ton of webinars this year. We'll probably host just as many, if not more, in 2026. God, I really don't like the sound of that. That was a lot of content I did. So I'm like crawling into the fetal position. More webinars, but it's good. We enjoy our webinars. It's good. We also have obviously our Deploy on Friday series, which you can check out. We have our roadmap, which is at roadmap.octopus.com, always being updated. Make it a bookmark, if not your homepage. And of course, we've just updated our partner page as well. We've added some new partners here, including ARM, which is awesome to see, and all the good things around that. Anyways, there it is, 2025, from a very holistic perspective. Obviously, we didn't cover everything. There was a lot of stuff that we didn't cover, but that was a general gist of what we did. Matt and Charlotte are obviously here as part of this now, which is great. And, in summary, I thought it was a great year. We had a lot of great accomplishments. The product is looking awesome. And we've never been more engaged with our community, I think, in the history of the company. We're doing a lot of stuff with customers and partners and having great conversations with them. Matt, Charlotte, any sort of final words around the year that was? Looking forward to 2026, etc.?
Yeah, I certainly am, and just sort of reiterating what you said, it's been a fantastic year for just engaging with folks, both online and in person. So I've had some fantastic conversations in all sorts of different areas, whether it's software delivery or platform engineering or some of the reports that we're doing and the information that's coming out about that. Super excited about the AI report. That's obviously very topical right now, and everyone's got their opinions, which is great. That's what we need as humans. But I'm really excited to see the conversations that are going to start from that, and I know that we've got a lot of exciting stuff planned for 2026 as well. So. Although I am looking forward to a break, I am also looking forward to coming back and getting stuck into it in January as well. So
yeah, I know Charlotte's got the first. Charlotte, you've got the first deliverable in 2026, don't you?
I probably, yeah, with the report. Yep, probably. I really got to get it finished. Pretty much.
Matt and I are going to be. It's summertime down here in Australia. Matt and I are going to be in our pool, and Charlotte's going to be stuck in front of a keyboard. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm really keen to get that out, and I'm also keen for Christmas break. But I've got a lot of really cool things coming up in January that I think I'm really excited about.
That's awesome.
Yes, great.
Awesome. Well, anyways, happy holidays, everyone. Hope you had a great year. It was great to have you with us. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Tell your friends. We do this every week, although we're going to take a bit of a break, obviously. We'll probably renew in the first week of the year, if not the second, etc. Sometime in January, you'll see us pop up on your newsfeed. Until then, have a safe and happy holidays. And from all of us here to all of you there, happy deployments, everyone. Hope you had a great year, 2025. I know we did. And we'll see you in the new year, 2026. I got to get that in my brain. 2026, 26. Okay. It's locked in. Got it. All right. Happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you next year in 2026.